think we're ready.
Okay.
Are we streaming? Of course we're streaming. It's so quiet.
Yep.
We have to be streaming.
Waiting for Wes to give the go-ahead, that's all.
Let me turn my...
I don't see it yet. There it is. All right. Are you guys set?
Yep.
Together again. We are the Making Geeks podcast for makers, dads, and geeks. You guys are listening to episode 170. Hey, we made it past another 10 episodes, finally.
Wow.
Never thought we'd hit out of the 160s. It seemed like it took forever.
Yeah, I never really pay attention to how many episodes you say until you just said 170. Good grief.
Try editing, 165 of them and then tell me that.
Good gracious.
It's a lot of content. It's a lot of four guys talking about stuff, I guess.
It's a lot of Star Wars in there.
Too much Star Wars. And I don't know why I keep clicking on the stupid YouTube videos about, look at what could have happened with the script. So how you guys been?
Busy.
Donovan, say something.
I guess not having my mic on mute would help.
Okay,
I'm like Wes.
You're starting to worry me again. I'm like, oh man, we gotta go this crap again.
No, I'm like Wes. I've been busy. Not the fun kind of busy like Wes has been up to, but still busy.
Yeah. We just got back last weekend, I think, from Disney World and other Florida shenanigans. While you guys were recording without me, that's where I was at. I think we did 5 days in Disney World at various parks. It's pretty good. We did the Galaxy's Edge. I listened to Bob's Galaxy's Edge review after I went there because I didn't want to get stuff spoiled. Like how the Rise of the Skywalker or Rise of the Resistance ride kind of like played out and stuff, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. Oh, shut up. I'm glad.
You should have played. You should have played the podcast on your phone, over the speaker while you were in line.
In line, yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I purposely didn't look at all, like videos and stuff. I didn't really want to know what happened. And I'm glad that I didn't because it was like paradigm shifting, awesome. Like it was.
But you got on. You can get on the ride, right?
We had to get at the park at like 6:20 in the morning. In the park, to wait to get through security. Got through security, they let us in, and we had to join the virtual queue on your phone at 7 a.m., like on the dot. The boarding, I think we were in like boarding group 40 something, and we didn't end up getting on the ride till 1 in the afternoon.
Wow.
And we stayed till fireworks at close that day. It was a long day, but it was really cool. I'm glad we went. And we ended up going back to that park a second day. That was our only repeat park visit. Just because we didn't hit all the stuff in Galaxy's Edge. Like we just did Rise of the Resistance, and that's pretty much it. And maybe kind of like wandered around a little bit, but we kind of spent the rest of the time at the rest of the park that first day, just so I could devote more time to Galaxy's Edge. It was really fun. The attention to detail is really pretty staggering. Even down to the bathrooms, which was surprising. Like the fixtures, the water fixtures, and the hand dryers, and all that stuff was all like distressed and ugly and gross looking. Like not like crappy rest stop gas station like hot dogs on a roller for 10 miles kind of crappy, but like Star Wars. Oh, it's different. There's like you could tell the like legitimate crappy and like fake crappy, but it still looked real. Anyways, they had like a big latrine kind of trough thing for not latrine. They had a big trough thing to like wash your hands in, kind of like at state fairs used to have back in the day. So it kind of like separated it from the standard of the other parks, even outside of Galaxy's Edge, you know, and other parts of Hollywood Studios. The hand dryers were like some futuristic Dyson model, but it looked like retro, and they kind of did some stuff to it to look older. Even down to the water refill stations, like which they lack at other Disney parks. They would have water fountains, and people would like huddle up against it with their water bottles all like at a weird angle to get it as full as possible. But at Galaxy's Edge, they had the things you just put your bottle into, like a little cavity, and it would fill in. But they were Star Wars themed. So as you're like standing there, every couple minutes, you would hear like this gurgling sound, and like all the pipes that connect to this thing had like fake pipes also, and like vats of water and vats of other liquids like bubbling and stuff. You hear like a creature or a sound like come over you. And like this tank beside where you just filled your water, it's like all sludgy looking, bubbles start coming out, and this alien head like pops up and like looks around. He's like, "Rah, rah," and it looks around, and then it kind of goes back down. It happened once every 10 minutes or something, and I just stood there watching other people. And it wasn't like triggered by the water fountain, but it was around the same time someone happened to get some water, and they're like, "Ah!" It's kind of startling, but it was fun. I could talk all night about it, but I ended up bringing some Beskar steel that I made, like a little prop from The Mandalorian. I 3D printed like a couple days before and painted it, and harassed some stormtroopers, and I actually got it confiscated. I was trying to get arrested. I bribed one with it, and he like took it away. We had like a character, what do they call it? A dessert party, I guess. After it's almost like after hours, but not quite. You get to pay extra, and it's like a character experience thing. And they actually like walk you around and escort you to like the front of the row for the fireworks and stuff. And the whole time the guy was like messing with me, the stormtrooper. He remembered who I was. Like after I ended up getting the steel back through some other shenanigans, he would like say like, "I got my eye on you," and like kind of point me out in the middle of this crowd of other people and stuff. It's pretty funny, but it was good. Got a tour of Blue Origin. We went to Kennedy Space Center, did the whole space thing, and got the tour bus and went around the VAB and had a good time.
So my father-in-law, who worked with me at Lockheed Martin when I was in Georgia, continually he moved from Georgia to California. Now he works down at the Cape. So there's a big there's obviously where they launch like the NASA rockets, but they launch weapons and stuff down there too. It's called the Eastern Range. But he works down there, and he probably once a month sends me these job requests for Blue Origin. And I don't know if he's just trying to be like a nice, like just in case looking out for you kind of family member, or if he thinks that what I'm doing is just so silly that he continually sends me these job recs for Blue Origin down at Titusville.
Yeah. They got a sweet plot of land. They're right across from the visitor center. I don't know how that was already available. Like, you turn left to go into the visitor center, and you could turn right to go into Blue Origin. You could see it from the visitor center. I had a contact that I met a couple years ago. They had a NASA social event where I went down to Kennedy Space Center to like cover a launch, and I've been friends with him since then. He got hired on. He's technically part-timer, but I guess they kind of curate their employees and stuff and kind of train them up before they're full-time. But we got to check out like the command center with all the screens. They had the funniest. They even had like I don't even know how to describe it. It was like this ginormous screen of sub-screens of different sizes and everything. And in one of the corners, they had Kerbal Space Program running. I'm like, what? Why do you guys have Kerbal Space Program running? Like a fake video game. And then they had another one. It was like a fake fireplace, like running, like screensaver. And they didn't have any operations or anything going on. But there happened to be a guy in there that saw us looking in, and he like let us in. It wasn't even a part of the original tour with my buddy, who, you know, has clearance, but there's certain areas they didn't want us to go into, like on the manufacturing floor and stuff. But yeah, he let us in, and Samantha and Grant sat at some console stations and like talked to each other with like the little mics and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, we just got this installed. I don't even know if it works." And they try it at first, and it's not working. He's like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll have to talk to whoever because it's not working." And then Grant like was messing with it and like hit something and got it to work. And as we're leaving, it's like, "Well, I guess we, I'll send you guys the bill, or You guys send us the bill for the repair for Grant fixing your space center. But it was pretty funny. We couldn't get pictures of them in there because it's all no pictures kind of thing, but it was neat. It was cool to see like the underdog of the commercial space business, as far as I know, what they're doing and what their facilities like and all that stuff. It's cool. We almost tried to stay around for the SpaceX launch that ended up getting postponed till Sunday. It was supposed to be Saturday, but we ended up having to come back. But the one where they launched did like the abort test a couple days ago.
Yeah, I bet that was a pretty awesome one to see.
Yeah.
Because the range control like blew up the first stage rocket. Because this was an abort test for the capsule. That's all they were testing. And so once the capsule jettisoned from the rocket as it was launching and it returned down, it's just a giant projectile so they can remote detonate it. And so they just blew it up on purpose. And that must have been a pretty amazing sight to see.
Yep.
Should have done that at night. Oh, that would have been cool.
I was a little disappointed, but I mean, we had a 9-hour drive, and if we added that, it would have been 4 or 5 more hours with traffic and everything. So we opted not to, but it was good. The kids had fun; they were good, and got to get some fun rec time. Missed you guys.
I wish we could have been there hanging out with you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Making Geeks vacation, that'd be cool.
It was cool, like seeing you at my old stomping grounds. I'm like, oh, I know that. I know that. Good time.
So I just got back from vacation. Sean, you're with your wife who is on vacation.
Let's not call it a vacation because it's not a vacation. It's kind of a work trip. I'm just kind of here for support and acting as I'm acting chauffeur is really what it was. And we left last night after I got off of work, so we didn't get here till like almost 11 o'clock at night. And if I could prevent my wife from having to drive 6 or 7 hours on the road by herself, then that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Wait, where is here?
Where I'm in Phoenix, Arizona right now.
Oh.
My wife's at a conference or something, so I get to explore this town a little bit, and that's about it. I worked most of the morning anyways, even though I'm not on campus, so it's really not that much of a break. And we'll leave tomorrow afternoon and drive back home.
I'm going to tie this all together. So Wes was on vacation. Sean, you're on pseudo vacation because your wife is at a work thing. My wife just left today to go on a ladies' retreat, so I have all 3 of the kids for the weekend. So there's a thing that Bob's parents go to a church in town, and they do a thing with like once a month where it's like the parents kind of date night. You can drop the kids off and they like have a good time with all their buddies. And so I did that, and I was all by myself. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I had like 2.5 hours to do whatever I wanted. I went to dinner and I went to Target and bought some new underwear. Grown-up stuff.
I hope they're superhero underwear.
They're not. They're uncomfortable underwear. I don't know if I like these or not.
You try to return them.
Yeah. Which is funny because I was in the like little area looking at it, and I heard this older lady talking to her husband, and she was like, don't get the nice underwear because you throw them away every week. And I was like, what?
You're using them wrong.
I was trying to like not eavesdrop, but they were talking kind of loud. And she was like, no, you have to try these on first. And he's like, that's not how this works. She's like, that's garbage. Yes, you can. And so like they're bickering about him trying on underwear at Target.
He wears a pair for a week and throws them out.
I don't know. Apparently, and she was getting mad at him. And she was.
It was like
anymore. Like a mom talking to a kid. This is a grown man. And then like I got what I needed and I started to walk away, and she's like holding up a giant pair of like tidy whities, like in front of her face. And I'm like, oh man, this is fun. I'm gonna run away from here. But Donovan, is your wife out of town too?
Yeah, my wife is in Washington, helping her sister and visiting family and all that kind of stuff. So I'm in the same boat too. Kids, and I don't have a date night program that I could drop my kids off to. So It's been busy.
Do we have to like hashtag the whole thing like dad life?
Yeah, hashtag dad life.
Modern
It's
modern
so,
dad life?
gosh, it's so. I know their intentions are just, but it's so funny how unintentionally incompetent the women in my family think I am
I
at
was
being a
wondering where you were going
dad.
with that statement.
It's like my wife left like little sticky notes on the cabinets. It's like, here's what to put in the kids' lunches. Like, here's what to do. Then you do this and this.
Rocks.
And I'm like, I do this like half the time, even when you're here. I know how to do this. I know how to take care of the kids. I know how to feed them. I know how to get them dressed. I know, like it's just funny that because it's like my mom and my grandma are helping out because with Ramona not here, somebody needed to be able to drop the kids off and pick them up from school. So yeah, there is that. But then there's the whole, oh, what do you want for dinner? I can cook dinner. We're okay. Like, I'm competent.
Yep.
They like
My
prepped
wife
you
does
like
it
your
too.
I was gonna say they prepped you like Macaulay Culkin, right? Like left you pizza money and like Home Alone.
It's
Got
just
the video
I
queued up.
definitely think it comes from a place of love because they feel like I'm gonna assume for a minute as my wife's proxy right now that like she does so much and wholeheartedly she does so much when I'm not around that she has everything like all the plates in the air, and I imagine that she envisions handing me all those plates like on the sticks and is telling me to balance them, and I'm just looking at her like that's not how I balance plates. And she's like, no, this is how you need to balance those plates. I'm like, no, it's cool. I got another system. She's like, no, well, this is how it has to work. I'm like, well, no, that's fine. I got like fans that hold all the plates, so it'll all just work out. You don't need to know what happens. You'll come back. No one will be dead. Everything will look the way it looked when you left. I'm just not going to do it the way that you do it. We'll be fine.
yeah. Like I said, I know, like you said, it's coming from a place of love and of good intentions. But it's so funny that we watch these programs and whatnot on TV, and it's always the stereotypical doting dad doesn't
Mhm.
know how to do anything. And I'm like, I know how to do this. We've been married for a decade now. Like,
Well,
you
yeah.
should realize that like there's
It's also a generational thing. I mean, we are not our fathers.
I can't tell you how many times like I took the kids, when I was stay-at-home dad, like I took the kids to the grocery store, and like the cashier, well-meaning, she's like, "Oh, Daddy Day, huh?" Or got the, whatever the phrase is. She's like, "You got the kids today," or she would like talk to the kids, "Oh, you're with your dad today, huh?" And then Samantha's like, "Yep, every day." It's like, yeah,
Mommy's in prison.
yeah, that's right. Work release.
Can you be our mom?
Mommy fell. She
Will you
fell
be
down
your
a
mom?
pit.
Oh man. And I got three, and they're all really little. And it's so funny, like anytime we go anywhere, there's always the comments. Well, it looks like you got your hands full.
Yep,
Yeah,
right.
I know. I made them. Well, I didn't make them, but I helped. I know. So it's like
I
I
don't know.
said,
I get them. I see the way that my wife interacts with him, and I see the frustrations that she has. And so, like, I get my kids ready at least 45 minutes before we need to go anywhere. Shoes, socks, jacket. Like, you're ready to go. I will not wait on you. I love you, children. I'm not waiting on you. It's time to go. Like, when I'm in the van, they know that they better be in that stinking van or daddy's rolling down a driveway. We have a thing in the van, like, when you put your seatbelt on, you call your name out. And so we have, like, everybody kind of, like, they just say their name. Yeah, and so I don't have to ask them. I know when I hear their name, then their seatbelt's on. And I know that there's the one that gets in the van and just, like, stands there, like, doing nothing. I'm just happy to be in the van. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, what? I'm like, what do you think we're doing here? Like, get in your seat and put your seatbelt on. Like, it's the same thing. Like, we're in the van. He's like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I got to put my seatbelt on. And I'm like, well, I'm backing up. They're like, I'm not in my seatbelt. I'm like, well, that's a you problem. You better hurry up. Because I'm
Every
not
little
waiting
kid
on
has
you.
those blue screen moments.
And it's so funny just to, like, they just stand there and stare at nothing.
Like you
I'm
haven't
like,
done this 1,000 times before.
yeah,
You
and
know
those
the
are
process.
not the things in the mommy handover manual. It's just like, oh, we've got snacks and they've got this, and they need to make sure they go to this thing at this time. It's never like, oh yeah, your son randomly blanks out and just stares off into nowhere or starts playing with a Lego figurine while he has one shoe on because you just like forgot you needed two shoes.
Oh gosh, I know. We were trying to go get pho tonight, cause I'm like, tonight let's go out, let's get some dinner, make it easy, come back, watch some Teen Titans. You can go to bed, I can do podcast. Easy, easy. We're walking out the door. My son doesn't have shoes or a coat on. It's like 30 degrees. I'm like, is it cold? Uh-huh. You're a smart person. I want to treat you like a smart person. Why aren't you wearing shoes? I don't know. Well, go get your shoes on, but I don't know where they are. Where did you leave them? By the door. Have you checked by the door? Yeah. Okay, go get your shoes on. And then he comes back out without a coat on. And I'm just like, was I this dumb as a kid?
Yeah,
Yes.
all of us were.
Gosh.
So it's funny you reminded me. We had the same thing. That whole I got everybody ready 45 minutes before we needed to leave. And I'm like, this is great. It's all just working. And I'm like, okay. What happened? I told everybody to go pee because I'm not doing that at the store. I'm like, everybody go pee. We've got a bunch of toilets. Disperse and go pee. And so everybody is legitimately like out the door ready. My middle son goes upstairs to go to the bathroom, and he comes downstairs with no shoes and no socks on. I'm like, what the hell? He goes, what? You had shoes and socks. And he looked in his face. He goes, ugh. And just walks back upstairs.
It's like George Costanza had to take his shirt off to go to the bathroom.
No, I'm like, what? Were you robbed? Like, what just happened? You came downstairs with less clothes than you had when you went upstairs to do a completely unrelated task.
And then acting surprised that they weren't
Yeah.
there.
Huh?
Ugh.
He wasn't
And
washing
my
his feet
daughter-
in the bidet, was he?
No.
Okay.
Right. And then they all went to go get in the van, and they're all very competitive, and they all tried to elbow their way into the van first, and my daughter slipped and fell in the mud. And so she had to come back in because she had mud all over her. And I'm like, you guys are ruining my system. Like, Daddy's system is flawless. I'm like, you better hurry up and go put your pants on because, again, I'm getting in the van and it's go time. So she comes back out with, like, her Jeep pants with, like, holes all in them. I'm like, I don't care. Mommy would care. Daddy doesn't care. That's not indecent exposure. Get in the van. We got places to go. Ugh.
It's comforting to know that I'm not the only one that this kind of
No.
stuff happens
So what are you
to.
doing tomorrow? When's your wife get back?
Sunday night.
Yeah, so does mine. What are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're doing. My
What
daughter
are you doing?
joined Girl Scouts, and so we need to go have a meeting about Girl Scout cookies because this is my life now. I'm like, oh no, we're gonna be one of those. My daughter's like, yeah, we're gonna be one of those. And now, like, apparently, because in my day, I mean, I was in Boy Scouts for forever, and we did popcorn, and you had to pre-sell the popcorn, and you
Nobody
had to
wants
have
to buy that popcorn.
order form, all this. I know. Like, we always got mad at the Girl Scouts for you got
It's
the
so
good
expensive
stuff.
for popcorn. What are you doing?
I know.
Boy
But
Scouts,
we-
come on.
Like you had to, they had to buy it before we gave it to them. Now the parents have to buy all the cookies, and then you have to sell the cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's a racket.
Mm. This is a very disproportionate system to like
It's a
lower
pyramid
income
scheme.
families
It is.
that can't pre-purchase all of these cookies. And it's so, I mean, maybe it's like this everywhere, but in Oklahoma, man, there's like Girl Scout cookie stands like everywhere. You go to the Walmart, you go to Target, you go to anywhere. Although now that they legalized marijuana, I'm like, man, setting up shop outside of a dispensary would be the smartest thing in the world, but you can't do that because no.
Why? That's just good
like
biz,
little
Girl Scouts.
girls.
There's got to be a merit badge for it.
Oh yeah. But I'm just like, there's got to be a system to make this feasible. Otherwise, it's so expensive. Oh my gosh. But yeah, This is my world now. Like, this is what I got to deal with from now on. You were saying, Sean?
I said two things. Unfortunately, I was muted. I said that merit badge is going to be made out of hemp. And the other thing I said is, like, on a corporate level, they should set up that partnership with all the dispensaries.
I think you should get a capitalism merit badge for doing that. There's supply and demand, girls. This is a life lesson.
Yep.
If you can set it up outside of Walmart, Walmart sells cigarettes
And firearms.
guns.
Just saying, and guns, and liquor probably at some
Marijuana
Walmarts
is
in some
the
places.
least issue.
They do in Oklahoma.
Don't be throwing stones, Girl Scouts. Don't cast aspersions on my vice. I just want some cookies. Is there a list of places that you're not allowed to set up shop?
I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow.
Like, is a good bar, like late at night when everybody's stumbling out of the bar?
Late at night.
Like a
Girl
Girl
Scouts
Scout
pull
cookie
8 hours.
would hit
I
the
don't know,
spot.
like-
Just saying.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if, like, the girls have to be present in order to sell the cookies. I mean, it would be a little weird.
I think they're supposed to be there.
Like, a grown man be like, hey, you want some Girl Scout cookies?
They'll want you to wear the
Um,
uniform.
But you take that order form to work. Like, if you worked, I remember when I worked at Lockheed, this like super big fat guy would take his daughter's Girl Scout cookie thing and like hobble around all the little offices, and like that's how people got it. Ooh, what if you did like a DoorDash kind of deal, but like for Girl Scout cookies?
You could order them up, deliver them.
Yeah. Delivery system for Girl Scout cookies.
Oh,
By a
man.
drone.
Ooh.
Drone badge.
I'm writing this down.
Yeah. Yeah.
How would a food truck cut a hole in the side of a minivan? Or just get
Ice
your
cream
kids to
truck.
toss them out the side as you drive by, like a newspaper
Ooh, an
delivery.
ice
guy.
cream. Ooh.
You know, like a catchy
cream
jingle,
truck.
like an ice cream truck.
Yeah, it plays
We
like a Girl Scout song.
Scout cookies. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Okay,
Come get
some
your
music,
cookie.
catch that and like loop it and dubstep version.
I liked your whole together again at the beginning. Musical episode. It's good. I know that reference.
What other ways could we get Girl Scout cookies in the hands of a hungry population?
Oh my gosh, the DoorDash is
You know, they come in those like the singular like cellophane like silos, like a launcher.
like a
t-shirt
shirt
like a-
launcher, just Girl
like a-
Scout cookies.
A Thin Mint cannon.
There you go, out into a crowd.
Tell you, did we bring up the vending machine idea?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
Who was it? Oh God.
See, but you got to make sure a vending machine can take a credit card or debit card.
No.
That's easy. Hook up a
Like
square
cash for
to
a
it.
vending machine.
Okay, so you have to look up. There's a video, Donovan. So has anybody heard of Exploding Kittens, the card game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I have it.
Okay.
You gave it to me for my birthday.
Right.
bears versus babies.
Right.
That too.
So they at, I think it was at one of the PAX conventions, or I can't remember where it was. They set up at a convention in the hall. They instead of a table, they built a vending machine. It was like giant, and it was like cardboard. It was fake or whatever. But there were people on the inside, and they had like these giant buttons. It was all like people operated. It wasn't mechanical, and they like took money. They used credit cards to buy like all the swag or whatever, and sometimes they would give like a joke prize, like you would order, a T-shirt with the Exploding Kittens on it, and they would give you like a watermelon or like random stuff. They would just come up with these like quirky,
sounds like
off the
them.
wall, it was like right in line with their comedy, and it was like the longest line at PAX. They like sold out of everything. They like went to Walmart and bought a bunch of random stuff to like randomly give out. There was like a mystery button. They like kind of made like different. They made like a whole thing out of it, and it was really entertaining. And the video is hilarious. So I'd recommend you check that out and see if there's like maybe a Girl Scout version of that you could set. Imagine like a Girl Scout operated. They're inside the little booth or whatever in this like fake vending machine, and they have like these fake buttons, and the kids can see what buttons they hit, and it's just an idea. Could be the thing that sets you apart. Because at Walmart,
That's
they always
pretty
have
good.
like those giant. They have the vending machines that have like the 52 cents or whatever on the outside. Just do another one like right beside it, and have like Girl Scout logo.
Sell them at Workbench Con.
There you go.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
So many good ideas I'm writing down right now.
Oh, yeah. Technically, woodworking in the chat. He says those disc Nerf blasters could probably launch thin mints. I've got some of those. Those are the best
Who
Nerf
was it that
blasters.
made the Oreo dispenser in his workshop?
Oh, I
Who
saw
was
that.
like,
I
oh,
don't remember his name though. I
was-
saw it.
but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah, I saw it. It was good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Oh gosh, I wonder if I could make like a Girl Scout cookie inspired project. I'm sure I could.
Just
The gears
deliver
are
it- yeah.
turning.
I like the idea. We could combine the DoorDash and the Canon, so that if somebody ordered from it, you could just like pull up
Yeah, drive by out the
and
minivan.
announce them that they're
They
here.
don't even have to get
and
out of
then
their
have them come out.
captain's chairs. They're just like do.
Call up,
Yeah,
okay,
and he's
call
like-
up William Osmond and have him. He's done all those like egg drop videos. So now he has to design something to protect the cookies so they don't get crushed when they launch.
That's so much of a financial investment.
Do they have? Are there any like
Delivery system and
board game places or like like game shops like comic shops that have like the board game areas in the back? Maybe you can like set up
we've
for that sort
we've
of-
got a pretty good thriving gaming community here, like tabletop gaming community here. And so there's gaming centers. Like every comic book shop in the area has their own gaming center, but then there are like dedicated just straight
right.
tabletop gaming centers. I'm
good
sure
one.
I
You could
wouldn't
just
be
peruse
the
around.
only person trying to hit those ones up, but
But I remember when people came around here, like it's the order form. There's an order, and then you have to wait.
Yep.
And
they
I
don't
get
do that
it, like,
anymore.
I think it's part of the
you
reason
just
why
show up, right?
people
You got
don't
your
want to wait.
wagon, and- yeah.
Yeah.
I bet sales increased once you have the product there in exchange for cash.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sorry, I don't have any cash. Well, we take credit card now, or we take PayPal. Not an excuse.
Barter.
Yeah, since you're pre-buying the cookies, like you take the
'cause-
money.
The Girl Scout Association got paid right up front too.
Mm-hmm.
Conniving. That's pretty good though. That's the free market at work. Good for you, ladies.
Put the burden on the kids.
Gotta sell them cookies,
It-
man. You got to get ready for those pyramid schemes.
It's preparing them for all that student debt later on.
Yeah.
Oh, you think LuLaRoe's a good idea? Let's practice on Girl Scout cookies first.
I hate those things.
Move over
But popcorn,
Jamberries.
I think we can all agree that popcorn is a pretty terrible idea, Boy Scouts.
It's not even good. It doesn't even taste good.
You know,
I'd
why don't
rather
they
have
sell like
some,
beef jerky or something?
No, yeah.
I don't get it.
They should sell like fire starters or something.
Sell
something
pocket
practical.
knives.
Yeah, like I can
Kindling
see.
kits in the winter.
Yeah, like a knife.
Yeah.
You're selling a knife to somebody, like that could be potentially liable. But like out of all of the like food products you could sell to people,
right,
like
right.
Popcorn's crap.
popcorn. Hey, you're selling me popcorn. Like what is that? Popcorn's nothing. The difference between
We'll put
good
caramel
popcorn
on it
and
and put it in
bad
a tin,
popcorn-
collectible tin.
So what?
Well, the thing is, popcorn is like super cheap,
fact.
and so
Yeah,
any
we know.
The
any
margin, yeah.
upsell on the profit margin is ridiculous. I can't remember what I was watching some video on YouTube. It's like one of those big things of popcorn that you get at the movie theater for like $7. It was like 2 cents. Really? That's where they make their money, especially with Disney movies, because like Disney takes 50% of all ticket sales. Like they don't make money on ticket sales; they make money on concessions. So yeah,
Box office
popcorn.
agreement's even worse than that.
Popcorn.
That's the same thing for gas stations.
I was about to say that. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So Donovan, I have been having a great time with your newest scavenger hunt on Instagram.
It's been,
You gonna tell the world about it if they don't already
it's
know?
been so fun. If
And you can. I think
You don't
this is
agree.
your venue to formally announce that I'm in first place. I don't know this to be true, but I have a strong feeling.
the discussions taking place both on Instagram and on Discord, because I started a Discord server for everybody that's doing this treasure hunt to go. And my intent was for them to go and work together to try and figure out the puzzles, but nobody wants to give the answers. So they're like pseudo working together, being like, hey, I don't quite get this. And they're like, well, maybe you should do this. So they're kind of helping each other, but not in the way that I originally intended, which is fine. You know, it's out of my control. I put it out there, and, you know, once it's out there, it's out of my control. But yes, I started my treasure hunt for the Workbench Con ticket on, I guess it was Monday, wasn't it? No?
What day is now? Friday, Thursday, Tuesday.
Yep, Tuesday at 12 o'clock, I put out my first clue for my treasure hunt. And it's 7 days. It's 7 clues, 7 answers, and 1 solution to win a ticket to WorkbenchCon. So my first day, I had... I guess I can already say it, can I? I don't know, maybe. No? Okay, never mind. I guess I won't say it. My first day, I had a clue that I was hoping was easy enough that most everybody would get it, because the problem with my first clue in the last treasure hunt that I did was that it was too hard. Come to find out, the first clue wasn't as easy as I had anticipated. And so at this point, from what I can gather in the discussions on Discord and on Instagram, most people have not gotten the first clue. But the rest of them, I think, have been fairly easy to figure out. With enough Googling and a little ingenuity and knowledge of stuff I've done in projects in the past, you could probably figure it out. And it's been fun. It has been frustrating for a lot of people. I understand, because I mean, right before we were recording here, I got a comment from somebody on Instagram. It's like, I hate you. My brain hurts. This is terrible. I'm like, yeah, I understand that it's frustrating for people trying to figure out these clues, especially when there's just something that's right in front of them that they're just not getting. But it's frustrating for me too, because like, I just want to be like, hey, this clue is so cool. Here, look, it's this, and then there's this, and then here's the answer. Isn't that awesome? But I can't. I have to keep my mouth shut and just use expressive gifs to try and hint at the direction that they should be going in. And Josh is a robot. Everybody keeps saying.
Today's clue was really good. I don't know how you did it. I was impressed by it. And then when I showed Anthony, he didn't know how you did it either. And so the way that you're formatting your clues, the first one being an anagram, like just the words are mixed up. It's an anagram. Rearrange the letters makes up a thing. And then the rest of them you're using like just different kind of cipher codes. But today's was a picture, and it was invisible, and you had to turn the invisible thing visible. And I thought that was super duper clever. And I went, oh, this is how I must do this. And then I did it, and it worked. And then you have to figure out what the thing meant, because like once you figure it out, like that's the clue.
That's the clue. And the clue is not the answer. For anybody that's listening that is taking part of this treasure hunt, please understand the clue is not the answer. The clue gets you to the answer, and the answer is what's being filled in. Because the first day, right before we did this, so Monday when I put this out, I gave everybody a sheet with seven answers and then spaces for each letter for each answer. So they know exactly how many letters are in each answer to kind of help you out. Again, which is how I know that most people haven't got the first clue, because they're like, there's an extra one. No, there's none.
No, it's not. So you're saying that you made people work to even see the clue?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
And then once you get the clue,
the other
you have
ones,
to use
like,
the clue to figure out the answers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I know what you guys are talking about, and Donovan, I think I know how you did it then. If it's what I'm picturing in my head.
Yeah. Which when you figure it out, I wanted those moments when people are doing these puzzles and whatnot, that when they figure it out, they're like, oh.
You always hope for that light bulb moment.
Yeah.
You don't always
that little
get it,
moment. Especially at those times when it's right in front of you. And you're like, Why am I not getting this?
The huge barrier that you think is in front of you and you getting it is often like tissue paper thin. But you don't know that until you finally poke and you're like, oh, okay, I'm an idiot. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's not so insurmountable. You just haven't found that one tiny piece that links it together. And no, this is outstanding. And I just happened around lunchtime each day to be sitting at my computer doing stuff, and I've been doing a lot of social media stuff lately. So it just so happens I just am on Instagram around lunchtime. I'm like, oh yeah, that thing is coming up, and I have like my one notebook that I don't normally use has got my Donovan like puzzle stuff in it, and in the one you had a book, and I didn't have the book with me at work. I had the book at home, but Bob had the ebook or the audio book. I'm like, well, that's not going to help. I need the actual book. I was like, this is dastardly and fun. And so I got to bust out the book that was down here, and it was fun. It's fun. You're doing a great job. If you're mad and you're frustrated, that's good. That means you care. You gotta keep going. It's fun.
But Josh is definitely poking the bear with a lot of people doing this treasure hunt, because within the first 5 minutes of me posting the clue for that day, he'll comment, done. That's all it comments. And today I wondered, like every day preceding this, I'm like, yeah, he probably got it. But today I was like, is he just trolling people, or did he really get it?
No, I got it.
Okay, you got it. All right.
And we
All
talked
right.
before this went live. I checked my notes. I got it. I'm not wrong.
And I do want to like put this out there that starting tomorrow, they get hard. So for people that are doing this, all of this has been building up. It was supposed to be easier. We're in the intermediate stage now. Tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday are hard. Mondays, I'm like, is this too hard?
That's the last day, right? That's the seventh day? Okay.
Yeah. Because I have to give the ticket away by the 28th. So tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday prepared to work, because there is extra stuff that people are going to need to do or get in order to figure it out. So there's a little bit more legwork. Not going to a bookstore and getting a book. We're already past that. But if you haven't already done stuff like this before in the past, you'll have to go and figure out how to figure out the clues in a way that you may have not seen before or know that is done. With all that said, I hope I didn't make them too hard. I really don't. And after all of those clues, there's actually one final puzzle. After all the puzzles, and that one final puzzle is going to determine who wins the ticket to work BenchCon. So even if my whole purpose of Discord, of everybody working together and figuring out the clues together, even if by the end of it they like all had the answers, there would still be the one final puzzle that everybody would have to race to try and get done to win the ticket to work BenchCon. So,
but you can't wait until the end. You have to have all of the answers plus that already.
Yep. The list, the numbered list with all with all the letters and spaces and everything was very intentional, because you're going to need that for the final puzzle.
No.
And I kind of mentioned that today on social media on Discord, is that all of these answers do not relate to each other yet. Like, it's not trying to spell out a sentence or phrase or something like that. Like some people have thought. They don't relate. They're not connected in any way whatsoever yet.
So maybe I missed it. How are you judging this? Whoever has all the correct answers first, or are you doing a drawing after?
No. Whoever gets the final puzzle, whoever figures out the final puzzle. The thing about the final puzzle is you have to have all of the answers to all the preceding puzzles correct in order to figure out the final puzzle.
This is the Amazing Race strategy. Like at the end of the Amazing Race, you have to do the huge challenge that incorporates you remembering all of the stuff you did in the previous challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So will you hand me my ticket in some type of ceremony? Because it'll be ironic
I
that you're
will
going to hand
wrap
me a
it in a
ticket to
Wonka
Workbench
bar.
Con when I see you at Workbench Con. Some kind of hat or something? Maybe a medallion of some kind.
People are throwing shade your way in the comments, Josh.
Yeah,
And
they're
that's
ready
fine.
to rage quit.
That's fine. I'm winning. That's what people say to the person who's winning. And okay, for the record, this is the first time I have actually spoken to Donovan about this this puzzle or this scavenger hunt since you have started. I have not asked him for any clues. I have just confirmed that I am not trolling people. I have my this is day 4 so far because we're recording on Friday. And my answers are correct, and I am still eagerly, just like everybody else, awaiting for 12 o'clock tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. So there could be many, many, many silent people out there that are way faster than I am and just don't say done a whole bunch of times. I'm not cheating in any way. I find this to be extremely gratifying. And if I could have something like this as a birthday present, I would be a happy man.
Okay, so I can see it's like one of those races you see on the internet where Josh, no one else is in sight. Josh is at the finish line. He just kind of stops, starts walking, pat himself on the back, and somebody just zips by him and crosses the finish line.
That's fine, and I see that. But like, it's kind of funny because I was in the middle of modeling this project for this collaboration that we're doing, and I'm really proud of this thing. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. Hold on, wait a minute, it's noon, and I just like slam all the stuff off my desk. I'm like, it's puzzle time. I'll ask Bob really silly questions, and he's like, "Are you doing the puzzle?" I'm like, "Yes." What do you think this means? He's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Never mind, I figured it out."
Yeah, because I do tell a story for every clue, and there's clues in the story that I tell to help you figure out the puzzle.
Yep.
So it's not just being mean and just putting it out there with any kind of context. I'm giving context to all of this and telling a story as I do it. So
there's a gracious amount of hand holding.
There is. But like I said, starting tomorrow, the tides may turn. We'll see. We'll see.
But that's JOSH for the plaque, just to make sure we're on the same page.
I'm excited. I have been having so much fun.
Has it been paying off? Like, have you seen analytically, like, has this been beneficial for you, or is this just like fun?
Unintentionally, yes. I don't know how people outside of my wheelhouse, or whatever you want to call it, have been finding out about it, but I have gotten a lot of new traction on my Instagram page from people coming to check out the hunt.
Workbench Con posted something. I don't remember if it was in a story or in a post, but yeah, they mentioned something about it.
Yeah, and a couple people have been posting on their stories and tagging Workbench Con, and Workbench Con has been, anytime Workbench Con is tagged in a story, they will share to their stories. They don't share like posts because I tag them in all my posts just so that they can keep up with everything I'm doing. Because she wrote me an email and she's, it's how clever this is. This is so clever. Thanks. But I do need to do more stories. But I've been trying to stay a little bit aloof because I don't want to get too involved because I don't want to like give anything away.
Yep.
So it's frustrating for me too, not being able to show everybody the answers. I will eventually. But regardless, it's been a blast. I've loved doing this. It's fantastic.
Okay, and just to further shut down those people throwing shade my way, I would like you to publicly take a stance that if I ask you for help, you will not give me help. I want you to publicly make that stand that if solicited, you will not give me help. Because I don't want people thinking there's some weird, like under the table kind of like, oh, they're friends. They talked about it. He must know some of this stuff. Like, make the pact.
I don't think anybody's going to want to help you.
No, like, I'm talking Donovan specifically. If I just get so angry and so frustrated and I'm like, I need a hint, you have to just, you got to shut me down or send me some type of GIF that tells me no in a very clever way. Because I don't want there to be any kind of nepotism.
No, there's not nepotism. There is no nepotism.
But for everybody in the world.
And I've sent gifts out today of like, Bill Murray, you got this. Just trying to encourage people. The answer is literally right. I had somebody text me. They figured out today's clue, but they couldn't read it. And I'm like,
it was a little.
It's right there. It's right. It's all right there. You got this. I hate you. Yay!
It took me
You're
a second.
Having fun.
When I figured out how to look at the clue, I'm like, what is this letter? And I spelled it out. I'm like, that's not a thing.
Okay, if I were to show people, there is a way to easily just go whoop and clear as day.
You're doing too
crystal
much.
Clear. Like, there is a way to do it. There have been different methods that people have used to figure out the puzzles that I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. That's not the way I did it or intended to have it done, but they're figuring it out anyway. So yeah, those alternate methods of figuring out puzzles where it's like, it's not quite clear enough to like, it's because you found a unique way of doing it. But the answer was still there. And so,
yep.
Bill Murray gif, you got this. That isn't helping. I know, I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody out there. I'm sorry.
Are you going to do a recap after this is all done to show people how you did it?
So my talk at Workbench Con is adding interactivity into your content. And so I'm going to be talking about two things during my talk. One is interactive videos, like I've done in the past and going to be doing more in the future, where you get to choose what method of making something you want to watch. And so that's one of the things I'm going to be talking about. And the other thing is going to be talking about ARGs like this one, alternate reality games, where you take, whether it's a treasure hunt or a puzzle hunt or just something outside of the scope of, your content to get people interacting with either you or your content or each other. And I don't know if I want to do like a recap video prior to Workbench Con where I break down all of these puzzles, or if I just want to save it for Workbench Con to go over during my talk how I put all these together. Because maybe I don't want to put this out there yet, but there is going to be interactivity in my talk at Workbench Con.
Interesting.
So, everything is going to tie together.
Well, I think your time on stage at Workbench Con, if you're spelling out how you're doing this thing in particular, this particular treasure hunt, I think it's going to eat up a lot of that on stage time.
Yeah. So like I said, I haven't decided. I have till the 2nd to decide exactly what I'm going to put in my talk because I have to turn in all of my materials and everything by the 2nd.
Yeah, we had to turn ours in. We turned ours in yesterday because we are officially going and presenting at Workbench Con now.
Yeah, you're not just going. You're a keynote speaker.
I'm not a keynote speaker. Bob's a keynote speaker. I'll be teaching a class.
Y'all are a keynote speaker. All y'all. They have been posting about that on the Workbench Con Instagram page. But that's exciting. I'm, however I end up doing it, whether I, do the video where I break everything down or whether I just cover it in my talk, I've been having a blast.
Well, thank you for this. For those that, as frustrating as this may be, that's the fun of the challenge. And if you don't like these kind of challenges, then, I mean, obviously this is not your cup of tea. But for those people that do like the little puzzles and the fun little games like this, like, you're doing great, and thank you, because this is not something that you are readily invited or often invited to partake in. So, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I
You're welcome.
I go every time I get the thing right, and it brings me a nice little Ron Swanson kind of giggle to myself. And then I say done. Then I go about the rest of my day. And then I remember it's like noon the next day, and then I get to do it all over again.
Well, cool. Mission accomplished. Because that was my whole goal in all this, for people to have fun
So if you
doing
could
it.
just like do this perpetually, that'd be great.
It's it has been discussed.
It get you a grant.
I've got
So
one.
you just do this for a certain period of time.
Because, part of the inspiration for this was the whole Pirates of the Caribbean hunt and all of that. And even with all the ones that I've done in the past, in researching some of these puzzles, there's so much out there that you could do to like create more content that is just, it's amazing.
Neat.
Yeah.
Well, on the topic of Workbench Con, Wes, you're going.
I am going.
Donovan's going. I'm going. Jonathan, are you going?
I'm not going.
Okay. We'll find that.
We'll find some other venue to all meet up at.
Hopefully.
We don't know the state of Maker Faire yet. Or do we know the state of Maker Faire?
No, Maker Faire's not happening.
No,
Okay.
it's already almost, late January? No. It'd already have to be in the works. And
Well, we'll have
tickets and
to
everything.
we'll have to figure something out.
Donovan, have you made a decision on Maker Central? Which is a big.
It is. I didn't think that I would be able to, but kind of talking about things that have happened recently, I got a job, so I've been working that.
I didn't know that.
And I got a
Oh, you were-
sec. Yeah, you
When was
weren't
that?
here last week. Yeah. I'm doing market market research for. Yes, I am. Y'all didn't know I was into baseball, but I am fantastic. No, I'm doing market research for a valve company, but I got a second job that is taking off a lot faster than I thought.
You're an airplane captain.
No, not an airplane captain. I got approached by people that I used to work with, wanting to create a new company, and so we all partnered together and created a new company, and it's doing surprisingly well. And so, with all of that happening, I may be able to quit my job that I just got, and and have the money to be able to go to things like Maker Central. So it's a maybe, to answer your question.
Is this the accounting firm?
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
Not the same accounting firm. It's a new one.
It's made up of all your initials in a fun little anagram.
Yeah. Because that's how I roll now with everything.
Donovan, Tim, and Jenny, accounting firm. Well, I'm going to Maker Central. Bob and I and his wife Jenny are going. And then we're going to Paris for a collaboration video, and then we're going to Italy for another collaboration video. So that'll be like 10 jet-setting European
Paris.
days. Yep.
So
we haven't-
Italy, I can
now.
only assume that it's Jocko.
Yep, we're going to Jocko Shop.
Paris.
We're going to Paris too.
Who's in Paris?
I
I don't know.
Ted. Name's Ted.
Okay.
Jacques. Leon. Francois. Bonaparte.
Okay. I know
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know
who that
why Bob has not said who it is, but he hasn't said it. But yeah, so it'll be fun. Got my passport updated. I get to be cameraman again. We made all the arrangements finally, so we know where we're staying. So now it's gonna be a busy couple weeks. So, or not even a couple weeks, couple months. Well, besides Workbench Con, man, there's a lot going on.
2020, baby.
And I don't know if you guys had listened to Making It. Actually, I don't know if they put that out on Making It or not. I'm scheming with Making It. I personally am scheming. The success of Making It 100, I have taken it on as a personal chore to do Making It, sure, 300 or 500 or whatever. But I'm trying to take it on the road. Make it a traveling show.
Instead of just the singular one in New York.
Yeah. A mini tour. So I've been planning that. They are very receptive to it. And so now I have to learn how to be a tour manager, which I've been figuring it out. But I gotta try to figure that out too. So I know we were on Making It 100. I don't know if how feasible Making It 300 is, but maybe more opportunities to hang out with people.
What other industry could you do this in? I mean, seriously. You're a cameraman, you're a designer, you're an engineer. Now you're going to be a tour manager, all in a day's work.
I want to add choreographer to that too. Song and dance show. That'd be great. My resume, man, is going to make no sense
To anybody outside of this world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My LinkedIn keeps sending me emails to like update my LinkedIn profile. I'm like, no, that's okay. Like, I'll break all your algorithms. I don't want to do that right now.
What are you guys geeking out about?
Picard.
Is it already out?
Yeah, it's out.
How is it?
It's pretty good. It's good to see him back in that role. And they dropped some cool references to things that might be coming. I don't want to say any spoilers or whatever, but I enjoyed it. It was good to see him back in the role after like 20 years.
It's on TBS?
CBS All Access.
CBS All Access. Is that one you have to pay for?
Of course it is.
Okay.
But
I'll just get the highlights from you, I guess.
Well, the thing to do is like wait till they're like done with the season and then just do the free trial and knock it all out because it comes out every week. So, but so far so good. He's still got it. It's pretty good for as old as he is.
Yeah. I'm geeking out about two things. One thing is I put out a video last week of the drone video that I was supposed to do like 3 months ago. I finally got that out. It's not doing really well, but it's doing better than I thought it would. And video came out better than I initially thought it would, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah, the lighting was really good.
Yeah, thanks. And I saw a movie today, and I think it's the first movie I've seen in a theater in a long time that did not have Lucasfilm or Marvel attached to the movie that I saw. I saw Ford versus Ferrari, Matt Damon and Christian Bale, and it was fantastic. And I would love to maybe even see it again in the theater. I thought it was that good. So it's definitely worth seeing. I highly recommend it. I think I've always secretly kind of wanted to be a car guy, but was never around any people growing up that I could learn from. And this kind of makes you want to work on a car, or at least research and read a little bit more about the situation, because I think it was a great movie, great casting, fascinating story, and just really cool. It was fun.
I forgot to mention I saw a movie when I was on vacation as well.
What'd you see?
1917.
Yeah, how was that?
Oh man,
really good. It was really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm geeking out about.
Sorry, not to steal your thunder. Go ahead.
No. You can share in my thunder.
It's your team.
You
team.
ain't stealing nothing. I don't go to movies very often just because I have kids now, and it's just not feasible. Especially when it's not a kids movie. but I wanted to go see that in IMAX, and it was so good. Like it's insanely sad, because it's one of those movies where it doesn't aggrandize or glorify war in any way. Like it just shows you the harsh reality of war, and it is so depressing. But that movie was the production quality of that movie is like one of the best I've ever seen in my life. It was so well done and so beautifully shot. And it wasn't literally done as a one shot, but the entire movie is one shot. There's no cuts. I mean, there are cuts, but like there's no, back and
It's
forth
seamless.
and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. It's seamless. And it was just it is incredible movie.
And the behind the scenes are really cool too, like how they show how they did it. They had like buildings that were like disassembling and stuff as they push the camera through them.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It was really neat. There's some jarring moments in there too. You're like, whoa,
Oh yeah. There's two moments where I was like, holy crap. Oh gosh. Oh, okay. I'm okay. All right. Yeah.
Am I gonna pee my pants and start crying at this movie? Am I gonna get
PTSD. I don't know. Maybe.
am I gonna be triggered?
Because
I want to see it.
I may or may not have cried. I maybe cried a little bit. But yeah, there are, like Wes said, there are a couple parts though. It'll jump you. You'll jump out of your seat.
That's cool. I wanted to watch it. Nothing I'm going to. I think that'll be. Man, it makes it sound bad, but like a reward, like
Yeah,
when
for,
my wife
for
gets
surviving the weekend.
back. All the kids have their limbs. Daddy's going to watch a movie.
I'll just say the flares are really cool. That's all I'll say.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh man, I want to see it again.
Yeah.
Josh, how about you?
I was thinking about it, and when you mentioned your video, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out. We put out a new series of videos, the first in a new, like, less regular series of videos called Between the Builds that we
Saw
put
that.
out on I Like to Make Stuff. It's like a new take, a new editing style, a new kind of everything. I did the thumbnail, and it's completely different than the way that we normally do stuff. So it's a nice, like, behind the scenesy kind of story shot in the arm. It's Bob and I talking a lot more kind of candidly than the stuff that's normally done in I Like to Make Stuff video. I've watched it many times, and each time I laugh at the parts I'm supposed to laugh at. I really dig it. And that all came from Anthony. Anthony edited that, and he has a new way of looking at stuff. When we went on our retreat, we talked about some things that we could have as not just like Monday little tiny half release stuff, like stuff in between project videos, so that we could have some breath. We could have some space in between project videos, so we can make bigger stuff. So the behind the build or between the builds is one, and there's another series that we're going to shoot like a pilot episode. I can't say anything about that right now since we're talking to the whole wide world, but that is a potential new series as well.
Now, are these replacing bits or are going to be in conjunction with bits?
The bits videos, we haven't really done it because no one's asked. None of the sponsors have really asked. Like those were because they got significantly less views to be able to justify making that. Like if somebody sponsored it, then we would make some. But the demand for those has been less. And honestly, like the biggest thing, especially with this new series, is we acknowledge that Bob is the bottleneck. Because as the face, he has to be the face of all this stuff. So the bits videos, I would set up the set kind of area. I would do the research. I would do all this stuff. And then I'd point a camera at him and go, say it like this. And so that's a horribly inefficient system because it relies on him being there. And we can't do it without him being on camera. So we're trying to do other stuff that is not so structured on, camera only being pointed at Bob. So I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be doing any more bits. That was not really in a conversation. But we're doing other stuff as well. Not the bits are gone. We just haven't done any.
The between the builds is almost kind of like economical too, since that stuff is already happening, and all you have to do is point a camera at it and then edit it together in a way that makes sense for an audience to make it engaging for them to see.
Yep.
I get it. Yeah. And it was entertaining too. Having and I know that you guys have already talked about all this, but having the two different styles of the traditional videos and then either the behind the scenes videos or now the between the builds, that they have such a clear different feel and look and pacing because they're edited in two different ways, adds a lot more to the lineup.
And that was one thing we talked about, is anything that we had that was outside of a project video had to have a distinct tone difference. It had to have a new identity. It had to have a completely different feel so that it does not directly tie back to like the thing Bob does, so that we could eventually kind of branch out to give a little bit more than him. And so if it looked like a project video, it would just look like an extension of a project video. So we had to make sure that anything else that we're doing has its own distinct identity.
It's a great foray into kind of introducing all of you guys as a company as opposed to a person.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. So there's strides into doing more. Man, that retreat we had, besides stuff that's on YouTube, like, man, I wish we could talk about some of the stuff that we were gonna do. It is so cool, and it would absolutely break my resume when this stuff actually happens. And it's amazing. But the new style series of videos, it's like on the timeline of things to check off that we discussed at the retreat. Like, these are the ones that we can do quickest. So, yeah. So look out for more of those. If you haven't seen it, go to I Like to Make Stuff and check it out. It's really fun. You see me playing around, acting like myself.
With your epoxy water cup.
Yeah, that cup is great, by the way. A lot of people have been throwing shade. Again, but I'm drinking from a Total Boat epoxy mixing jug. It's a measured cup.
Now you can measure input and output.
Exactly. People can get off my case, toilet face. I wrote not resin because people were giving me crap about it. So I had to put a big piece of orange tape on it. It says not resin because they were like, what if somebody leaves the resin around and you think it's water and you're going to drink it?
You should drink some like blue Kool-Aid out of it and just troll everybody.
Put some pre-solidified Jello in it. Let it coat my mouth. Start freaking out.
All right, folks. Well, we would love to hear from all of you. We have a lot of fun doing the show every week, and every now and then we get questions from the audience, and it's really fun hearing from so many different people that watch the show and all the comments and reactions that we get, and we love to keep getting those. So you can send those to us by going to the website, makinggeeks.com. We have a contact page where you can put all that info right there. On the homepage of the site, you can listen to all of our past episodes. And remember the site, it's makinggeeks.com.
And all of us are heavily involved in social media outside of the content that we put out here on Making Geeks. So individually, if you want to come check us out, Sean can be found over at Geek Builders. Wes's content is found at Geeksmithing. Josh is found at two places, at Josh_Make_Stuff, or like he was talking about his stuff that he does with Bob over at I Like to Make Stuff. And my individual stuff can be found over at Once Upon a Workbench.
And I'd like to take this chance to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/makinggeeks for helping us keep the lights on here and the show. We appreciate each and every one of you for your financial contributions. It really means a lot to us. It helps us do things that we can't normally do without your support. And we'd like to thank our top patron, C3D Prop Shop. Thank you so much.
And we'd like to thank everybody for hanging out with us in the YouTube live chat, even though apparently people were giving me crap, and that's fine. I can take it. If you want to be one of those amazing persons that criticizes what I say on the show, you can head on over to our YouTube channel at Making Geeks Podcast every Thursday around 9:30 p.m. But today's Friday, so set your notification bell. If you want to be in a live chat, come on, hang out. It's a fun time. I can't monitor it because it'll slow down my internet, so you can say what you want about me and I will never know. For everybody else, the podcast comes out usually every Saturday to your podcast player of choice. And from all of us to all of you, hope you have a fantastic week. And go check out Donovan's scavenger hunt. It's fun. Be patient. Take a breath. Go have fun. And have a fantastic week.
Night, y'all.
See you next time. And Sean's still muted.
Sean said, "Okay, bye."